Come adore on bended knee, Christ the Lord, the newborn King. Gloria. Let us sing in excelsis Deo. In excelsis Deo.
Good morning, Chicago. You're listening to Perfect Detours on WGHC 98.3 FM. I am your host, Bob Kiser. I'm so glad to be here with you this morning, and I hope that for those of you who celebrated Christmas, that you had a wonderful Christmas. I know this year was a little different with COVID and all of that, which, as I was yesterday thinking about it, it made me sad I couldn't be with my family, and all the opportunities that this season kind of presented to me, this opportunity that when I did Zoom with my parents, it meant a lot more. So getting to spend time with them. And this show is about the perfect detours in our life, and talk about COVID just causing this detour for the past year. And I was talking to my partner, Brian, and we were just kind of talking about all the opportunities, though, that this past year has presented to us, this time to connect with people in different ways. I think I took for granted sometimes the ability to just get together with people and maybe go out for coffee and then I'd be on my way. And now, connecting with people, it takes a lot more intention and purpose. So I think I found that with Christmas as well. So I hope that if you celebrate Christmas again, that you had a wonderful day. And if you didn't, I hope that you had a wonderful day anyway. So if you're listening for the first time, welcome to Perfect Detours. If you're coming back to the show, well, welcome back. This show is about exploring those perfectly imperfect moments in our lives. Looking at those moments when those situations that happen to us and we're like, what the hell just happened to us? And then reviewing those and saying, wow, that moment, wow, that was a perfect moment in my life. Or those choices that we make, sometimes we think, ooh, that was a bad choice or a wrong choice, and finding out later that actually, again, it was a perfect choice. So I love to explore on this show kind of the idea that maybe the universe is conspiring for us. And if it is, well, let's go out and find those ways. So why am I doing this show? I just want to put out there, I think too many good-hearted souls that we lose our way, that we give up. And I want this show to be a vehicle for all of us to share with each other how we personally have turned those imperfect experiences in our lives into perfect detours. This show is about sharing our stories with one another because in my experience in my life, that is how I've grown. People being kind enough to share their experience, strength, and hope with me. So for the show, each week I have a guest on, and I also want to hear from you. So if you want to call in, here's the number, 773-942-7167. If something in the show inspires you, or maybe you have something to share, please, again, call in. The number is 773-942-7167. I'm in the studio with producer extraordinaire, Skip Sams. Skip, how are you? And how was your past couple days been? As he's turning on his mic.
Hola, Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
¿Qué tal?
So what did you ask me? I'm sorry.
How are you, Skip?
Today, I'm super duper dandy dapper.
Really?
Yes, I am.
Okay, why?
Because I'm at peace. I had a day, and I made myself not think about anything. And I sat in my lazy boy rocking chair all day. Had pancakes for breakfast.
Yeah.
Had a Zoom call with my family.
Oh, beautiful.
Had pancakes for lunch.
Uh-huh.
On my new iron skillet. And then I watched Wonder Woman.
1984?
Yep.
Okay.
Very good. Very, very good. Very good. It's very unlike other superhero movies.
Yeah. I like the first one. It was great.
Well, this one, I'm not going to give away the ending, but it ended differently than you would expect a superhero movie to end.
Okay. I'm intrigued now.
And there is also a very special treat. But then I started reading a book called Holding the Man.
Oh, which was a movie.
Yes.
I love that
The
movie.
book is so.
Oh.
The movie is. There's so much about the movie that is. It's not too dissimilar. There are, some variations of it. But the book, it starts actually before the movie does, and it just brings. I grew up. Well, they were like 8 years ahead.
Yeah.
And they're like they would have been 8 years older than me.
Yeah.
And so it just, they're talking about listening to Michael Jackson,
Right.
as teenagers,
Well-
and what I can't remember.
And
but
for those listening, the movie, and I'm assuming the book was about a relationship
Thank
that
you.
started very, very young with two men and
two boys.
Two boys. Very young.
They were 15 in high school and they fell in love.
Yeah, and
in
then,
Australia.
then their journey through it, which includes just all the ups and downs of a relationship. I thought it was so good and so realistic about a relationship.
It was.
So,
And the
yeah.
way it was, it wasn't a movie about AIDS, right?
you kind of just gave away, but yeah,
No, I mean it's a live.
that's part of it. Part of the
That's
journey they
part
have to
of
go
it.
through. Yeah.
It's not a movie about AIDS.
No.
And I think that's really, really cool. You have a love relationship that takes place in the late 70s up to the early 90s.
Right.
And of course, AIDS was a part of all of our lives and,
Yeah.
and how it affected them. But it wasn't about that. It was about their relationship.
Yes.
And I just thought that was it's touching me in so many ways and bringing back so much nostalgia.
Yeah.
And it's also telling me that the way one of the ways I've been wanting to write my book, I've been afraid to,
Mm-hmm.
because the truths that I want to tell and the way I want to tell it. And this book is the book is very graphic. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're going to read it, it's not like the movie is like a PG-13 or whatever. No, this movie is like
About their intimate relationship.
yeah.
Great.
It's very graphic,
Yeah.
about how they have sex and all that stuff.
Got it. Got it, Skip. Yeah.
Yeah. So be prepared for that. But
Wow, that sounds great.
I read half the book. I mean, I couldn't stop.
I love it. I love this little detour because I wasn't expecting to talk about this book. I actually, the movie was great, so now I have to read the book. Thank
Yeah,
you for that.
You do.
Yay. Very, very cool.
Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Brian.
Oh, are they on Facebook Live?
Yes,
Hi,
Bonnie's
everybody.
watching this again. You were great last week, Bonnie. We love you.
Oh, Bonnie Violet.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great interview. Hi, Bonnie. Oh, and then I also watched a little bit. She had a interview on this week. Oh, I don't remember the chaplain's name, but I'm going down the road. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I just love her show. Everything she does, she's
Yeah.
amazing. So,
Yeah.
hi, Bonnie, and hi,
You know,
Brian.
her talk last week about how much the struggle with religion and so forth. Not struggle, but journey through it. Wasn't
Yeah.
But, I mean, we all struggled with it in our different ways. But, again, the book talks about, because they're Catholic boys.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the struggle
And
with.
it's very interesting how they got support from their. It's just, yeah.
Okay, I'll read the book.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. We should have a book club here on the radio station.
Yes, we should. But it was so nice yesterday to I cleared my head. I did not allow myself to think about anytime something would come up, or even if I was on the phone with somebody. I was on the phone with my sponsor, and so he was like, "How's the radio station?" I'm like, "What radio station?"
Ixnay on the radio station today.
No, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, today's not a work day.
Sometimes you got to put it on the shelf sometimes. Just, and that's actually, when I come back to it, I'm more inspired or more in touch with it. So,
I feel like I had a few days off because I literally put it out of my head.
Now, Skip, you don't get to take that much time off.
I know,
I'm totally kidding.
but it feels
Totally
like
kidding.
it maybe, yeah, it does.
That's awesome. I'm glad you deserve it. Thank you so much for all of the work you've been doing here. So thank you. And that brings us to this week. And my guest is Alba Woolard, who I'll be bringing on in just a second. But she is a Chicago improv actress, and we're going to have a delightful discussion. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty funny, too. She makes me laugh. But this week, I want to explore the idea of saying yes to our lives. And I think we've heard that before. Just say yes, or I guess as Nancy Reagan said, just say no to drugs. But I want to explore, when should we say yes and when should we say no, and what are those opportunities that come up for us? And what are you going to say? What are you going to say, Skip? Skip, you're going to say something.
My brain is in that book. So you're saying,
Okay.
what should you say yes to? And I started to make a comment that we will keep your show PG today.
Please. To be a first. I'm sure by the end of it we'll go into PG-13, but we have to be respectable at the beginning, I think. So
Reverend Dr. Megan Rohrer.
oh yeah, that was
That's what
yes.
Bonnie just sent that message.
Thank you, Bonnie. Yes, that was Bonnie's guest on our show. So yes, this week we're going to talk about those opportunities that fall into our lap. And we're going to discuss, when do we take them? When do we say yes to things? I will say that I was doing some reading this past week as we're coming up to the new year. And as a coach, I'm always thinking about rejuvenation and reflecting and all that kind of stuff. And Forbes had an article about the 5 things that people regret most in their lives when they're dying, what they mention. And one of them was the opportunities that people did not take. And I didn't see on the list the things that they did, but rather things that they didn't do. And I have found that the moments of inspiration, of divine infinity, I think, have come when I've said yes to things. And there's been many times in my life I said yes, and I had no idea how the hell I was going to do it. And those are the moments that I feel I've had the most rewards from. And there's also been times when I've said no, and that's been a yes, actually, in a weird kind of way. By saying no to certain things, I'm allowing space to say yes to other things. So we're going to just kind of explore all of that today. And so Alba, that's all I'm going to say, because Alba has some great thoughts about this. It's kind of how she lives her life. So I'm excited to bring her on for this. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back with Alba. I amend that. I guess maybe we're not taking a short break, because Skip is looking like he is.
I can't find the mouse to the computer.
What I love about this show is there's always a couple of detours we take, and it's perfect. So we can't find the mouse to the computer. Where did it go? There it is. I love it. I love. So the quote of the day is, how did it end up there? Anyway, so we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to have Alba Woolard. Before I do, though, I need to say hi to 2 people I know that are listening today that are very important to me. Victoria and Forrest in Texas. Hi, I've known Victoria for years and years and years, and she's so dear to my heart. And we were talking on Facebook this week, and she said she's going to be listening. So hi to Victoria and her husband, Forrest. And Darren Yates, who we had on a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, he is on Facebook Live. So hi, I can't see any of the posts, but Skip's telling me so. Good. Oh, so there's a lot of people. Now I'm nervous. Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back with Alba Woolard.
This is Skip Sams, Program Director here at WGHC 98.3 FM. We are your community radio station, and we are here to be your voice for change. Please consider making a donation today on our website at WGHCradio.org. That's WGHCradio.org. Happy holidays!
It's that time of year when the world falls in love. Every song you hear seems to say, Merry Christmas, may your New Year dreams come true. And this song of mine in 3/4 time wishes you and yours the same thing too.
And we are back on Perfect Detours with your host, Bob Kiser. That's me. Hi, everybody. So my guest is Alba Woolard. So let me explain a little bit how I know Alba, and then I'll give her a more proper introduction. So if you've been listening to the show, you know I kind of wear 3 to a million different hats in my life, which I love. But I work at the University of Illinois at Chicago in the College of Medicine. in their simulation center, which is called the Simulation and Integrative Learning Institute. This job is so cool. And talk about just saying yes. That's basically what this job has been. I started there as an actor and then just kept saying yes when they kept saying, hey, do you want to be a trainer? Sure, let me try it. And I kept saying yes, and now I'm the associate director of the center. And what the center does, again, so cool, is that we provide simulated scenarios for healthcare providers, students, and also practicing, so they can practice their communication skills, their teamwork, their physical examination skills. And we have two parts. We have actors who portray the patients so that, again, the healthcare providers can practice those more difficult conversations, like telling someone some bad news or maybe just getting a plain history and physical, up to we have high fidelity mannequins where teams of healthcare provider learners can go in and practice all these really cool scenarios like saving people, and they get to practice all this stuff before they see people in the hospitals like me and you when we're patients. So Alba, she is a standardized patient educator. She's an expert in training these actors on how to portray all these really cool cases. And Alba I met probably 3 years ago when she was thinking about moving to Chicago. And she came to the center and said, hey, I want to work for you. And our assistant director, Laura McKenzie, and myself said, well, let's interview this woman. And I've never interviewed someone like, I think we were talking to her 5 minutes. We're like, oh, we need to hire her. She is amazing. Side note, she did throw something in there about birds. I don't even know what she said. His Alba's laughing. And we're like, well, she's a little crazy, but she'll fit in great here. But so Alba has two different hats too. So that's how I know her, is that we were colleagues at SAIL, the Simulation and Integrative Learning Institute. So we were colleagues, and I've seen her brilliance there. But also then I've mentioned how so many of my friends are in the arts and do all these really cool things. I saw her because she came to Chicago for her improv career, and she blew me away. I've seen her in 2 shows. She blew me away. And that's why she's here today. So let me give her a proper introduction. Okay, so Alba Woolard is a founding member of the Push Comedy Theater in Norfolk, Virginia. She is an improv and sketch comedian in Chicago, though now doing it virtually during the apocalypse, as she called it. Has toured nationally as a comedian. And also then Alba works with me at SAIL. So good morning, Alba.
Hello, Bob. Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's totally my pleasure. I've been waiting to have you on the show. I was like, when's the right time? When is the right time? So today is the right time. So today is now. So Alba, when we were talking this week, first of all, Alba and I talk all the time. So I need to say it for this week. We were talking about the show. We discussed kind of how did you get to where you are in your life, and you mentioned this idea of saying yes to things. So tell us more, like where did you start, and how did you get to Chicago and become this improv goddess?
Oh my God, goddess! That's a big word. Thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, I will say, so in 2009, probably as I was finishing up college at ODU, there are 2 things that I thought that are pretty much complete opposite of what the reality is for me right now. Okay. And that's from saying yes to opportunities. One of those was that I thought I was going to be a very dramatic actress. I thought I was going, improv. I had no interest in stepping on stage without a plan. Did not want to do that at all.
Right?
And I also
that sounds scary as heck. Yeah.
Right? It's terrifying. And I also didn't think I was funny then. I took myself very seriously, and I wanted to only do dramatic performance. And then the other thing was, I remember telling my parents as I was getting ready to graduate college and we were talking about jobs, I said, hey, I went to school for acting. I will probably never have a full-time job. Like, I will probably never have a stable career. And now I've had a full-time job for I don't know how many years, and it started essentially immediately after college. And I'm so much happier with how the universe has conspired for me, as you said it,
Love it.
Than whatever kind of plan I could have set for myself. The reality is way cooler than whatever I could have planned.
So you mentioned during college is when you kind of remembered that you were funny. I thought that was so funny when we were talking about stuff this week. So tell us more about that. What did you mean by that?
Well, when I was a kid, I knew I was funny, but then through, plays and all that stuff, and you're studying like Chekhov and, all this really serious stuff. And I was doing a directing project. So one of my friends in the directing class had to direct a scene from A Streetcar Named Desire, and I got cast as Blanche. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take this really seriously. And so we get the set going, whatever, the audience is there, the phone rings, I pick up the phone and say hello, and the phone rang again. Like there was a technical issue, and the phone rang again. And instead of ignoring it, I made a weird face at the phone and looked at the phone like, oh, what's wrong with this phone? And just said hello again. And it got a huge laugh. And I was like, oh, that felt good.
Right.
Oh, that was good. And from that, one of my very best friends and mentors saw me, and Brad McMurrin, who's one of the owners of the Push Comedy Theater in Norfolk, saw me and invited me to do a guest spot on with that group, the Pushers. Sketch and Improv Comedy is the name of the group. I know, the Pushers.
I was like, whoa. I was not expecting you to go in that direction, but okay.
That's the name. Well, the Pushers, yeah, and then Push Comedy Theater came out of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, they invited me to do a guest spot with them, and I was like, oh man, this comedy thing is really funny. It's fun, and I felt like a duck in water doing comedy, whereas everything else I always felt like I had to struggle with it.
Well, it's so interesting. I just thought of this as you were telling this story about Streetcar Named Desire, is that in that moment, I feel like you said yes to the present moment.
Yeah, I did. I said yes to that present moment. And then when they invited me to be on the show, I was terrified to do that, to do a sketch show, but I was like, you know what? Let's do it. And then 2 years later, the opportunity to audition for them came up, to be a regular member of the group. And I was terrified of that too. But like you said, the universe conspired for me. And at first I wasn't going to go do the audition because I was technically scheduled to work that night at the restaurant I was working at.
Right.
And so I was like, well, no, if it was meant to be, it wouldn't have worked out this way. So I got to work. And it was a very, very slow Sunday night. And the manager actually was like, hey, does somebody want to go home early? And I was like, this is it. This is the moment that the universe is telling me, like, yes, I do need to go audition for this group, because I could leave early and make it to the audition. And so I begged the other person working to let me leave early, and I did, and I hopped in my car, and I got there just as they were ending auditions, and it just so happened to work out perfectly.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
And then here you are.
And from that, I ended up opening with that group. They years later said, hey, we want to open a comedy theater. And I was like, I would never do that. That would never be on my plans of things to do. I'm not responsible enough for that. But my friends were doing it, and they said, do you want to jump on board? And so I said, yes. Yeah, why not? Sure, why not? Let's see what happens.
And you did. Wow. So tell me, well, there's two places I want to go. Sorry, I see a fork in the road. So I want to take a detour, a quick trip. So tell me, how does saying yes play into improv and the success of improv?
So improv is basically, in a really simple form, is two people trying to make something up really quickly together. They're trying to collaborate instantly. And so if I say, well, here we are in Spain, and you say, we're not in Spain, we're in Antarctica. Well, that's saying no to my idea, and then we can't really create from there. So if I say, here we are in Spain, you could say no, but without a really good reason to say no, all it really does is slow down the work. So why not just go ahead and say yes and then add something else onto it?
Okay, now tell me about your life through that lens. That's really cool, and it seems like that's what you're doing, is saying yes to life and then adding on to it. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I need a really good reason to say no to something. If an opportunity presents itself, I need a really good reason to say no. If it's something that's interesting to me, I'll kind of knock on the door and see, hey, is this something that is possible? And if the door opens and new opportunities come from that, then sure, why not?
Wow.
Why not see what comes from it?
Okay, so again, every time I talk to you, I have so many things I want to ask you or say to you. But okay, so I'm trying to stay in one line of thinking. Sorry, is that so? You just mentioned about saying yes to things. So I'm going to add one thing in, and then I have a question for you. Is that I will say when I'm working with people, is that so much of the time it's just about showing up. I think about like when I was acting, or when I was, even just anything in my life, that if I just show up half the time, that's the battle right there. Because there's so many people that are like, oh, I would do it, and then they don't show up. So if I would just show up, who knows what the opportunities are. And so I just want to kind of throw that out there, is that I always think about what would happen if I just showed up. But I think you bring up the point, or this is the question, is knocking on the door. So what does it look like to knock on the door versus burst through the door?
Wow. What a great question. I think bursting through the door, my mom always says, she's Italian, so she has an adorable little accent.
Yes,
she says,
does.
She says, Alba, don't push it. Don't push it. If it is meant to be, it will be.
Oh.
So
I cannot wait to meet your mom, by the way. Okay.
She's just the cutest. And I think of knocking on the door is like, I was sitting in one of my really close friends, Amelia Wallace. I was sitting in her office before I moved to Chicago, and we were talking about the different centers that existed around the country, the different places where SP work happens. And she said, I said, if a job was ever available in Chicago, I'd be crazy to not turn my life upside down and just move there. I love Chicago so much.
Yes.
And fast forward like a month later, and she said, guess who I just talked to at this conference? Bob Kiser. And guess what is coming up available?
Yes.
At UIC. And so that was a moment of, I kind of tapped on the door and I said, you know what, if this calls back, if I hear an echo back from Chicago, I'm in.
I love that.
Whereas,
yes,
I tried to force it in some ways. I'd looked at, once I decided that I definitely did want to do this, I remember looking for jobs doing the aquarium. I applied at the aquarium, but they didn't want to have me, which I don't know why.
I don't know why either, and I would love to work there. Oh, that would be great. Yes.
Yeah. So it was not a forcing kind of thing. It just kind of came back. And then the alternative, when I first was looking at moving away in 2010, I guess, when I graduated college, and I was thinking about, it was New York, or I could stay in Virginia and work at Eastern Virginia Medical School, where I had started doing SP work because that full-time job had opened. And so it was, forcing it would have been trying to figure out what the rest of everything would look like if I had gone to New York. And I just didn't feel that pull so much as I did to stay and to see what a career in SP work would look like.
Yeah. That was a great example. Thank you, Alba. That is a great example. That I think this idea of saying yes to things is knocking on the door, kind of being open to seeing what's over there, compared to putting up a wall saying I'm not going to even explore that stuff. And then, because I think a lot of things I've said yes to in my life have been the yes ands in my life. It's not been my complete yes, this is exactly what I'm doing, but it adds a layer to the new experiences or whatever. With that said, I've also worked with people who have been so driven, so they're going to get it no matter what, and they do achieve what they're going for, and some of them are extremely happy, and some of them I find are a little disappointed once they get there. So I think there is this. I've talked on the show a lot about black and white, is that when we're saying say yes to things that I'm not saying versus a hard no, maybe it's just the gray of being yes to exploring it, yes to the opportunities. So very cool. So and I also each week I ask my guests, what's a quote that describes you? And Alba's quote was, sure, why not? And working with Alba, that is exactly my experience of her. So so Alba, tell us what's going on now, especially with COVID and the world of improv. So how does your life looking now?
Well, it's me and my plants in my apartment. So I'm a very gregarious person. I love people. So the plants don't talk back, which is, so I've been taking every opportunity to do online performances. And actually I have one tomorrow night with Comedy Sports Chicago. I'm on one of their rec league teams. And so I'm doing that tomorrow.
Okay. Where do we find that?
That you can go to the Comedy Sports Chicago website. I think it's czchicago.com.
Okay.
And there are links there for that. And then because aside actual positive thing about the crazy pandemic is that I've been able to do some performing with my friends in Virginia from Push that I helped open. And so when they do virtual shows, I get to catch them. And that website is pushcomedytheater.com. And I love that. I really got so many comedic opportunities through Push, and I'm so grateful to that community.
That is amazing. Yeah, I will say that when I'm Zooming with Alba, her name is always different. I'm always like, who is that? She's like, oh, I forgot to change my name back.
It was Shu last time. My name was Shu.
Love it. So where do you see your life going? Like, what is the big yes, in the next, 5-10 years? Like, what does Alba Woolard want in her life?
Well, I'm actually applying for grad school.
Really?
Yeah, which I told my parents I would never do. I told them I would never have a full-time job. I'd never apply for grad school. But through everything that happened, during this year and through the pandemic, I thought, what's something that I really care about? And this is an idea that came to me, and I said, sure, why not? If I have this opportunity through UIC to go for a master's degree, I thought, well, why don't I just look at what kinds of classes they offer? And a master's in communications looks really interesting to me. And I want to do research on health disparities in communities of color. And so that, and through UIC, through the work we do at SAIL, it just seems like it's conspiring for me to do that sort of thing.
I love that. Yeah, and I love the idea of just thinking like I'm always deconstructing everything as a life coach. But I love that idea that you were knocking on the door, saying, okay, maybe I'm open to going to grad school. It seems like it's all kind of there, the possibilities there. So saying yes, and so what I hear is that you said no for right now. So when you said no, I'm not interested in grad school right now. No, I'm not interested in a full-time job right now. And then I think we talk on the show, let me phrase it. I know we talk on the show about kind of walls versus boundaries or with people, but there's also walls and boundaries maybe with goals in our life or things that we might want. So how cool is that? How do you know when something's, knocking on the door for you? Like, do you have a kind of like a sign for yourself or kind of because I definitely have, for me, when an idea is presented and it just seems like it feels, there's a different feel to it. Like this, okay, it's not like I'm dying to do it and there's not a strong no. It's just like, that's interesting, or I'm curious about it. That is the road that I usually go down. Like if there's a strong yes, then I get into this fear of like, what if I don't get it? What if I don't, oh my gosh, I really need it to be happy. And then usually that takes me down this weird road. But those moments in my life that I've said yes to that have produced the most amazing, different results in my life have been those moments where I just went, That's interesting. Let me try it. What is for you? Any signs for you or anything?
Yeah, I think it's. I think a lot really freed up for me once I realized that just because I say yes right now doesn't mean that's what I'm doing forever, and that
yes,
that keeps that lets the fear go. The big one for me was Chicago. You know, I wanted to move to Chicago when I was 22 years old, fresh out of college, and I waited because this opportunity at EVMS came up and this opportunity to buy a house.
What's EVMS? You have to tell us what EVMS is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Eastern Virginia Medical School.
Which is
where
amazing
I was
school.
Working.
Yes. Amazing people there.
Yes. Where I was working as a standardized patient. And then right after college, this full-time job as a trainer opened up. And so it was like, well, I can force everything and pack my bags and pick up and move away, or I can see what this job looks like. And the great thing is that if I didn't like it, I didn't have to stay there for the next 8 years. Yes. I could have said, and same with Chicago, when I finally decided to move, what really lifted the weight was I was like, you know, if I move to Chicago and I don't like living there, I don't like the cold, I don't like the people, I miss my family, guess what? I can move back home.
Right? Yes. I love that.
There's no permanence to taking chances. I mean, unless it's like a huge financial risk or something, and luckily I don't have enough money to take huge financial risk.
Well, and I think to your point is that's when you knock on the door rather than bursting through it. Is that like I'll have someone I'm working with come in and say, I want to make this huge change in my life. Well, let's just do a little small change, and you'll minimize the risk to kind of see, do I like it? So instead of eating a whole plate of sushi, let me try one piece and see if I like it.
Yeah,
I love sushi, so that's not a problem.
I do too.
But anyway, but I love that. So last thing I kind of hear in this conversation, I know we have to kind of start wrapping this up, is that what I hear is that you're not afraid of, I would say, quote unquote, failure, which is not really failure, but you're not afraid that, because I think that some things that have kept me from saying yes is my perfectionism. Mm-hmm. That fear of failing. Oh, talk to me about it. What do you mean?
Well, improv, for instance, was something I actually didn't want to do. Doing improv, I told my coach, Brad, I joined that team when they were mostly a sketch comedy team, so like pre-written material, not just making it up. And Brad had come back from New York, and he said, we're going to do improv. And we did it in rehearsal, and he was like, Alba, you're great. And I was like, I don't think so. I think I'm bad, and I'm scared. What if I get on stage and I'm bad at it and I'm terrible? He's like, it's fine, get on stage. So the first time I did improv, and I was bad, it was terrible. The first time I did it in front of an audience, in rehearsal, I had fun and the nerves weren't getting to me.
Sure.
But in front of an audience, the nerves got to me. I remember sweating. It was awful. And when I stepped off stage, this was a life-changing moment for me. When I stepped off stage, a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in a while that came to see the show saw me, and he goes, whew, that was rough. Anyway, can I buy you a drink? How you doing? And we just moved on. And I was like, oh, that's all that's going to happen. If I suck at this, all that's going to happen is I get offered a drink. I don't lose my friends. I don't lose my job. It's not so bad to fail at something.
Yes, I'm not sure if everybody, but a lot of people who are successful had to fail first. Like, how are you going to do something new? I love that.
Yeah.
And I think the only way to be good at improv, or a lot of the major things that we hold in high esteem, is you have to be willing to be bad in order to be good. You have to take that chance.
Exactly. You can't just be good from the jump. You have to be willing to make mistakes.
There's a story that I have is that so a lot of people listening know that I used to be a singer, dancer, actor type, and I was doing this show one time, and I was on stage the whole time, but then during intermission I came backstage, and there was this guy that was in the chorus of the show, and he was an understudy, and he came back and he was singing an audition song in Alba. It was horrible. Like, it was the worst sound I'd ever heard. And I was like, and he was cracking, and I was like, how can he do that in front of all these people? Alba now, like he's been on Broadway, like he's like I heard him at Ravinia. This amazing, beautiful voice. And I went, oh, he was willing to be bad in order to be good. I think that you pointed out, though, it's the places that we are bad and the it's the safety of where to be bad at. I think that having our tribe, having our friends that go, wow, yeah, that was rough, let's go for a drink. That's really important to have those people that can support us. And then when we're really good, they can go, wow, that was really good. But it's the same person no matter what. So yeah. So cool. So I think the takeaway for me today is, say yes to opportunities and to say yes to failing, yes to imperfections, and providing a safer place to do that. But in order to find success, do you have any other takeaways, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, peeking around the door. It's okay to take a little bit at a time and see. Just because you say yes to the first step doesn't mean you have to commit to the whole staircase.
Love it. Yes, I love that. And I look at life, too, as like an amusement park. I can go on a roller coaster and go, oh, I never want to use that roller coaster again. So, yeah, very cool. Alba, it has been such a joy to chat with you on the radio, though I talk to you almost every day. But just on the radio, it's been amazing.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And so people wanting to see more of Alba, actually, people on Facebook have been seeing Alba, but those listening that want to know more about Alba or see her in action, again, she's doing Comedy Sports tomorrow. Go to the website, Google Comedy Sports, and I'm sure you'll see their website and you can get more information about the show tomorrow night. And it is virtual, correct, Alba?
Yep, it is virtual.
Yay. And Alba is both on Facebook, and also then she's part of the Push Comedy Theater in Virginia if you Google them. So Alba, thank you very much. And I'm sure we'll have you on the show again in the new year. But have a great new year, and thank you for chatting.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Yeah. And when we come back, I'll have some final thoughts. And again, if anybody wants to call in, the phone lines are open. It's 773-942-7167. We'll be right back. You're listening to WGHC 98.3 FM Chicago. Change happens here. This is Bob Kiser. You're listening to WGHC LP 98.3 FM Chicago. Please make a donation on the front page of our website, wghcradio.org.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
And we're back. This is Bob Kiser with Perfect Detours on WGHC 98.3 FM. We were just talking to Alba Woolard, a Chicago improv actress, and she was talking to us about the opportunities when we say yes, which just started my mind spinning on so many things. Again, if you want to add your thoughts about this, please call in 773-942-7167. I would love to talk to you if you have some thoughts about this or experience. As I'm ending the show today, each week, people who are listening, I'm thinking about what are some things for you to practice in this coming week until we chat the following Saturday. And something for this week, maybe our intention is looking at those opportunities when we can say yes. And when we're saying yes to things, knowing when should we say yes versus when should we say no. Because obviously, Alba and I are not saying say yes to everything. That's impossible. In fact, there's so much power in saying no. It frees us up to pursue those things that really touch us, our passions, etc. So one little thing that's inside of me is this voice that it's this quiet little curiosity that says, I wonder what that would be like. So that's one thing for me, and to look inside yourself. So we actually do have a caller that is called in. So hi, caller, you're on the air. Who is this?
This is Victoria from Texas.
Victoria from Texas. Oh, my heart is so full right now. Victoria, how are you?
I'm doing well. Forrest and I are, we're still sheltering in place.
Yes. So Forrest is Victoria's husband, and they live in Texas. Where in Texas do you live exactly? I met you in Temple.
We actually live in a little town called Gatesville.
Gatesville. Oh my gosh. So Victoria, tell us a little bit about your experience with saying yes to life, because and backing up a couple steps, is I met Victoria about, I guess, 20 years ago, or it's about 20 years ago. Yeah.
Yep.
And I had
said 20 years.
I was acting and singing, and she worked at a theater called Temple Civic Theater in Temple, Texas, near Austin, and they were having a show of Joseph, and I said, sure, I'll come down and direct it and choreograph it. And Victoria and I became really good friends, and she's just been a mentor of mine. But Victoria, real quickly, what has saying yes to life done for you?
I think it has given me variety. It's given me excitement, and one of the ways that it's really developed in my life is I have dreams, and I would wake up with a dream, and it was like, okay, I got to get in my car and go find this particular building. I don't know what's at that building, but I'm going to go look for it. And I have found numerous jobs just by doing that, walking into the building, and all of a sudden somebody was looking for help.
Wow.
And I went to work for them.
So saying yes to your inspirations and yes to your intuition.
Yes.
That's very powerful and very connecting to that. Like I was just mentioning right when you called, that little voice inside of me that it's always one of curiosity and one of, that invites me into an experience. So that's amazing. I miss you dearly, and I cannot wait to talk to you more off the air.
Okay.
But I so appreciate you calling in, and tell Forrest hello for me, and tell the whole family hello for me. Merry Christmas.
I sure will.
Victoria, thank you so much for calling in, okay?
All righty.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that was so good. Oh, there's so many people that have come through my life that I just make my heart very full, and Victoria is one of them. And yes, she definitely has a very strong intuition, and lives her life by her. So she's a medicine woman, and I need to have her on the show. So I will actually arrange that, and then she can tell her full story, because it is a full, rich story full of opportunities and inspirations. So, but that yes versus no, saying yes to your life. The second thing about it is being okay to make mistakes. And I love what Alba said about those mistakes that we are going to make. It's making them as safe as possible. It's really important to make mistakes, but it's also important to keep ourselves safe in those mistakes. So it's maybe the people we surround ourselves with. If I've never done something, maybe keeping it kind of smaller to my tribe, so we can make some mistakes and they go, ooh, wow, and they give me feedback about how to be better. So I've never tried anything new, really, that I've been perfect the first time. So most likely that thing that you say yes to, it might be a little choppy, a little bumpy. But if you can get comfortable with the uncomfortableness of being bad, I keep saying this, you're going to have a life beyond your wildest dreams. And what if you actually could be really good at it? What a cool thing to do. And also, when you're saying yes to things, start small. Just start small. You don't need to dive into the big end. Just dip your toe in the water and say, do I even like this water? Oh, it's too cold for me. I don't like this. Well, maybe I can put it on the shelf for a while. Or I love this. I want to jump in more. So, and checking in with yourself. So there's also this idea of the fear versus the excitement of saying yes, or keeping to say yes. Fear can sometimes inspire me to say no. I need to check in with that and say, what is it that I'm afraid of? And there might be valuable information in that. So I'm afraid that I could lose money at this venture. Okay, so what are some things I could do to maybe put some stopgaps in that? Or maybe do a smaller, quote unquote, yes, that if I lose some dollars, then it's not going to be that big a deal. So in that fear, there may be some, helping us find the gray It's not yes or no. Yes, I do everything, or no, I don't do anything. Maybe that fear will find the grave for us. But what I think we need to be careful about is when that fear stops us from doing anything and it stalls us or it paralyzes us. That's when we need to look at the fear and go, wait a minute, I don't know if this fear is serving me. So also with saying yes to things, there's excitement. And sometimes it's hard for me to tell the difference between fear and excitement. I have found myself over the years it's acknowledging when I'm saying yes to things and feeling those feelings inside of myself and saying, so what is this? Is this fear? Is excitement? It's also talking to people like Alba, who's doing the doing, who's walking the walk, and asking them what their experience is, and me going, oh yeah, that's how I feel too. So it kind of helps us. We're not alone in this journey, not at all. Fear loves to separate us, but when we're in the process, we are with people. We are not alone. So again, the last thing I'm going to share is, keep that tribe near us, that tribe that knows us and that loves us no matter what. They're really important in creating that life of our dreams. It's about building on those small yeses. So as we're ending our time together, Skip, I'm going to ask you, do you have anything to throw in here? Do you have any thoughts on the show today? Because this is, talk about saying yes. You just said yes to this radio station.
She also... Am I on? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Is this thing on?
Is this thing on? I liked how she was like, just because you took the first step doesn't mean you have to go up the staircase.
Right? I love that too. What a great image.
How do you know when to either jump off the staircase, or go back down?
Yep. That's a great question.
Yeah, I'm looking at you for an answer.
Oh, well, I think everyone's for me. So for me, I think that when I keep going up the staircase, and it is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to sound rude. I was saying that with a smile, with sarcasm, but you can't tell
because of the mask. I can't see it. That's a great question, Skip. I think for myself, there's two different things. Is that when I'm going up the staircase, going up any staircase, I get winded. It takes a lot of work, so I have to sometimes ask myself, the amount of energy I'm putting on this staircase, is it energy, and I usually feel tired and I don't want to do it. So is the energy because I'm scared about what's at the top, because I've never been to the top of the staircase? Or is it truly, this staircase is one I just don't want to climb? And I think that, to your point and to Alba's point, those small steps, I take one more step, and I look at things are yes until they're a no. And I usually know that, no, I'm kind of done with this. And I've also found that everything I've said yes to usually leads to my next steps, the next staircase. Yeah. So I'll get to a place like a landing.
Yep.
I'll look in front of me. So there's 5 steps and there's a landing, and I can go to the left and there's more stairs there, or I keep going up the stairs in front of me. And usually I'll go, well, the stairs going up that way, I don't have a desire to go straight ahead. But now those to the left, that I'm curious about those. And I couldn't have gotten there unless I took the first stairs. That's a huge stair analogy.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's kind of like when if you're going up if you're trying to walk up an escalator that's going down.
Yes. And you keep trying.
And you keep trying and you keep trying and
you're
you
not
keep
getting
trying.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
That's a
and
really good
finally
image.
It's just like, all right, I'm going to go down. And then I'm going to go get on the elevator that's going up.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, my God, Bobby.
There's been times when I've said, you know what, I'm done with this. And then all of a sudden, boom, the opportunity. Once I stopped trying so hard, once I stopped trying to shove open that door, the door just kind of opens by itself, which is crazy. And I have to say, for this show, I saw you on the street and you're like, hey, do you want to do a radio show? I was like, sure, I've never done it. So this has been a big yes to me. And I've been.
And
really
you're
grateful.
amazing. So glad you're doing it.
Well, thank you, Skip. I love doing it. I love spending. Each week I get to see you, a good friend of mine who I didn't really get to see a lot in our previous lives. I guess I don't know in our previous times, but I get to see you every week. So that's a huge thing. But also just the opportunity to all of these conversations I leave changed. So yes, I'm glad the audience gets to listen, but selfishly, it's pretty cool for me.
And you're getting better and better.
Thank you, Skip. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, and you keep giving.
And you're coachable. I know you're
I wasn't gonna say that.
coachable.
Well, and I was gonna say that you're helping me, and someone who knows, who's been there, who's done that, who said, "Hey, Bob, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that?" So, thank you, Skip, and thank you for all the notes and all the help that you've given me. So,
Love you, mean it.
love you, mean it, seriously. Oh, my heart's full. A lot of people I just love. I've been talking to, and this is the other thing about the show is I get to talk to all these people that inspire me in my life. So, in the audience, I'm just bringing you along for the ride. So, it is time to wrap this up. I know, I'm really sad. It goes so fast. So I want to thank our guest, Alba Woolard, a Chicago improv actress, who just, I love the conversation today about saying yes. Thank you, Alba. Thank you for saying yes to being on the show. Each week, I always have to thank Skip Sams, our producer extraordinaire and director here at the station, program director. In the new year, just wait. Some really amazing things are happening at the radio station, so stay tuned. So, and at the radio station, since I think most people know that Skip just said yes a few months ago to helping the radio station, we're definitely in need of funds to keep the programming going, to keep our voice on the air so that we can have your voices on the air. So please think about making a donation at the website, which is WGHCradio.org. On the homepage, there is a donate button. Again, that's on WGHCradio.org. All donations are 100% tax deductible, and it will be an investment to keeping the voice of Chicago on the air. So change happens here, and with your change, we can make that change happen. So you've been listening to me, Bob Kiser. If you want to find me off the air, I'm on Facebook, Bob Kiser, Kiser. Definitely look me up. I have a coaching page. I also have a personal page, which is open to everyone. I'm pretty much an open book, so you can definitely find me there. On Instagram and Twitter, I'm at Bob Kiser Coach. And if you want to learn more about my services, it's www.bobkisercoaching.com. Each week, it is such an honor to be here. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to the next time that we meet. So until then, keep saying yes to life.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. They can help save lives by not having play dates. That's right. By replacing get-togethers with virtual play dates and video chats, they can help slow the evil spread of germs. And if your superheroes do go outside, make sure they continue their superhero wing by staying 6 feet away from others to protect everyone in America land. Find out more at coronavirus.